Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the TCR Sprint Car Series hosted here on Grease Vision. I am your host, Nathan Mon, and I think it will be just me tonight as the series takes on Volusia down in Florida for round six. A lot of tight times in practice. It looks like we've got about a 12 car field tonight, so not quite as many as last week, but nonetheless still a solid field here at Volusia. And in real life, last week they just ran the Gator Nationals for World of Outlaws in Volusia. So I know I mentioned it last week as well, but hopefully you got a chance to tune into that. But let's take a look here as these guys start to qualify. Go to get the ticker online and everything. As we're on board here with Vince Gieri coming to set his first lap here at Volusia. And apologies to the viewers and to the drivers. The last 2 weeks I have not been able to get the paints to work, but tonight we finally see these beautiful paints. Mason Heimball with a beautiful 04 car there as he puts it on top of the board to begin the qualifying session. Next up, Matt Wiedheifer with a quick lap number one, a 12.99 to start his qualifying efforts. Looks like he's not going to be able to improve on that. Let's take a look at Trent Curtis here, league owner in the 151 Celsius machine. As he comes around to finish his first lap. It's going to be good enough for P4 right now, a 13.08. Just a little over a tenth off of Mason Heimball in the lead. A couple of heavy hitters still yet to run. Matt Grimm, Henry Finson, Lockie Phillips, Kyle Dersham. Guys we've been seeing in the top, really in the podium paying positions past couple weeks, still yet to qualify as Trent Curtis not able to improve. He is currently P5. Sean Stevens with the fastest lap so far, 12.93, as that's going to put him on provisional pole with 5 cars left to qualify. Matt Grimm starts his qualifying lap. The Grim Reaper in the 91 machine. Going to look for a great run here tonight at Volusia. Starts his first lap here. A lot of guys running that middle. Seems to be, kind of fading up to the high side near the cushion. Seems to be where a lot of people like to be. As Matt Grimm going to go to provisional pole with a 12.88. So 500ths clear. Shoot, even his second lap would have matched the pole time set by Sean Stevens. So Matt Grimm looking real comfortable tonight in qualifying. We'll take a look at Lockie Phillips here, starting his first lap. Lockie Phillips, a lot of guys in that bottom groove. Lockie and Matt, more of a high side run for them usually. Still waiting for a lap time to come in. I think he may have clipped the wall on lap number 1. Did not register. Lockie Phillips only good enough for a 13 flat. It's going to put him P5. Henry Finson, top of the board, 12.85 on lap number 1. See if he can improve on that, but currently it looks like he will be our pole sitter, Henry Finson. A track that I feel like really suits him. They're much lower on the track, or I think we're going to see these guys tonight, but I believe that should be everybody done with qualifying. As, yeah, it looks like Henry Finson going to be the overall qualifying winner here, although there are going to be a couple of heats. I believe there should be only 2 with a field of 12, but we will see how they line up here for heat number 1 here in a couple seconds. If you are watching at home, please be sure to put in the chat who you're pulling for, or if you don't have a driver yet, maybe make a pick for tonight. Throw something in the chat. I'll promise I'll talk to you. I don't bite hard, but yeah, let me know who you're pulling for. Talk about some of these heavy hitters every week. Henry Finson, Matt Grimm, Mason Heimball, Lockie Phillips, Even our winner from a couple weeks ago, Vince Gieri, won on a wreck on the last lap between the top three. So he's a race winner this season. Are you pulling for league owner Trent Curtis? Let us know in the chat. There's Logan's favorite, Aiden. I just realized it's not Thornberry, it's Thronberry, but he still's got to do the. So here we go into heat number one. We're going to have Henry Fenson starting in the lead on this one. It's going to be Fenson, then Sean Stevens, Matt Wiedheifer, Kanan Lewinberger, Kyle Smith, and Vince Gieri. Going to start us off here as we wait for Fenson to load into his car. Believe it's actually going to be 8 laps. I'm not sure. You got to bear with me. Unfortunately, the overlay software, if you haven't heard it before, it does not count for the fact that these dirt races don't count caution laps. So it counts them, and then when it makes it to the they're not under caution or not pacing anymore, it will update correctly. So you have to bear with me as yeah, it looks like it should be 8 laps once these guys get going green. So Fenson finished second last week behind teammate Lockie Phillips. It was the Evolution Simsport 1-2 last week. Fenson known for really being good on the bottom so far this season, and you know, even in interviews we talked with him about that's his preferred line, and I think tonight's a track here at Volusia that's gonna pay off well for him. And so I mean, so far about 500s clear of Matt Grimm, if I remember correctly, in the qualifying session. Gonna start on the pole here for heat number one. But a couple fast guys in this one. Vince Gieri starting kind of towards the back here. Maybe not the best qualifying effort, but plenty of time to make up some spots here in heat number one, as I believe the pace car should be pulling off this time. And it is, and we are under green here for heat number one. Henry Fenson with a huge jump out in front. So try to refresh the ticker here. Sean Stevens going to be following in second. Matt Wiedheifer going to be close pass, almost got the pass done, or Kanan Lewinberger almost gets the pass done on Matt Wiedheifer for third. He's going to send it in together. There's contact. Oh, we got a car flipping.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, man, and what a rough hit over the wall for Matt Wiedheifer. And the yellow flag is out, as we hear the spotters say. We'll take another look at that here on the Grease Vision instant replay, but we caught it pretty good live. Take a look at what happened. We'll go far chase for and ride along with Matt Wiedheifer. Take a look as they head into 1 and 2. Lewinberger just going to slide up. Looks like a little bit of net code there, at least on my end. There's a solid gap there between the two, and just not ideal for Wiedheifer the way to start it out. He's going to have to tow back to the pits, of course, because he's not going to be able to drive that car upside down. And he's going to have to get that fast repair. He might just end up saying, you know what, that's good enough for me for heat number one. And you know, he'll return strong for the feature. Single file restart here, heat number one. Leave about 5 laps. I think it should only be about 6 laps left to go. I think they made it through 2 laps cleanly before that caution came out. We'll see what the official ticker count changes to once we go back green.
Hang on, we're not going green, not going green.
And as you hear, we're not going green this time. Delayed caution, maybe to let Wiedheifer get back. Looks like he's still not in the car yet, so maybe just trying to keep everyone bunched back up, but hopefully going green this time by. Should be about 6 laps left to go in heat number one. Take a look here at Fenson. They're still pretty spaced out. Expect them to be a little bit more bunched up now if we are going green. Looks like the lights are still on. Possibly this time will be going green as they start to get bunched back up here through turn 1. That V-diver is back on track, so maybe it was to let him, the delay caution was to let him get back to race more in this first heat race. He will drop to the end of the field, but he should be still on the lead lap because these caution laps do not count. Looks like we're going to be going green this time. Henry Fenson going to lead the field to green yet again. Huge jump again as he catches Sean Stevens snapping again, and Sean Stevens immediately under pressure from Vince Gieri. Vince trying to look for second around the middle. Going to get a little out of shape. That's going to lose him some momentum on Sean Stevens. Now Kyle Smith going to put him under fire. So unfortunately not sure how many laps we got left. But it looks like these guys are starting to take it a little easy. The gap's starting to widen out a little bit. Henry Fenson with a 7/10 of a second gap over Sean Stevens. Sean Stevens able to make up some good ground though. Able to make up 3/10 in that corner alone as he's hunting down Fenson right now. He wants to win this heat race. He continues to keep the gap at around 4/10. Maybe Fenson just kind of keeping him at bay. I say that the gap drops to 3/10. He's definitely gunning for it. So we see him get closer and closer to the 10 car of Henry Fenson. Sean Stevens digging hard on the bottom. Vince Gieri behind him in third. Kyle Smith a little further back. Not really a big battle other than the one for the lead. Henry Fenson gonna wrap that bottom as he's so good at. It looks like that will be the end of heat number 1. Henry Fenson gonna win the race. Sean Stevens in second and Vince Gieri in third as we finally have a ticker back. Not sure why I wasn't working for race number 1 or heat race number 1, but Matt Grimm gonna be on the pole for heat number 2. Mason Heimball in second alongside him. Lockie Phillips starting behind Matt Grimm in third. Trent Curtis to Lockie Phillips outside. Kyle Dersham behind them with Aiden Thornberry lining up in last in this second heat. As they start to roll here. Matt Grimm has been struggling, looking for some more wins in this series. The defending champion, kind of having an off year, but can all turn around with one race weekend, change the course of his season. And he's come out strong every week. Just seems like something doesn't fall his way or gets involved with something that, is almost out of his control, and it ends up, costing him a good finishing position. But Matt Grimm looking to return to his winning ways tonight. Mason Heimball, always a front runner here in this series, looking to get a victory. Hasn't had one. Not sure if he's had one this season or not, but definitely not in the last few weeks. So looking to get a win as well. Lockie Phillips, last week's winner, starting in third in this heat. Definitely looking to elevate his feature starting position here, as we should be going green this time. Matt Grimm has the flag in hand. Pace car is off. Lockie Phillips dropping way down. Matt Grimm going to get a massive launch as we take a look back immediately at the battle for second. Mason Heimball going to get a slider thrown on him by Lockie Phillips. Oh, makes contact with Lockie Phillips, says, I don't like that. I'll take P2 right back. So Lockie Phillips back in third yet again. There's more contact. Mason Heimball and Lockie Phillips involved. The caution is out. I think we caught that one live, but tempers flaring here in heat number 2 between Mason Heimball and Lockie Phillips. I mean, we saw that one from the jump. And going into 1 and 2, Lockie Phillips immediately throwing a slide job as we see Heimball into the pits, but Lockie Phillips immediately throwing a slide job onto the Heimball, as we'll try to take a look here and see what happened. Guys, we're looking back, trying to go back and catch where we'll watch the initial contact as well. So this was into turn 1 for the first time. Lockie Phillips sending it in there. Mason Heimball showing his displeasure, is putting Lockie Phillips in the outside wall. Lockie Phillips almost getting hit in the middle 3 and 4 there, and then on the front stretch, again, it looks like a little bit of net code there. Not saying that there wasn't some intent to that, just as a little payback, but definitely looked like there was a little bit of a gap there between the 17 car and the 04 of Mason Heimball. But Matt Grimm with a huge launch. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon there on the start of heat number 2. He's hoping to keep that lead. He knows he's got good pace behind him in Lockie Phillips. So he's looking to extend that as far as he can and keep Lockie Phillips at bay so that he can win the heat. But Mason Heimball going to have to do some work. He did come in to pit, take his fast repair. He's back on track. Didn't lose a lap or anything. Just got to start at the rear since he was in that wreck and pitted and everything. But as they run now, Matt Grimm, Lockie Phillips, Kyle Dersham, Aiden Thronberry, Trent Curtis, and then Mason Heimball here in heat number 2. So Lockie Phillips looking alongside Matt Grimm. Going to try to get every advantage he can get. Every inch of space here he can get. As the pace car is in, Matt Grimm is away. Another pretty good jump for Matt Grimm. We're looking at the battle here for second. Lockie Phillips under pressure from Kyle Dersham. And you can see in 1 and 2 and really 3 and 4 as well. It's looks more like a line you would see at an asphalt oval, where it's that low entry down to the bottom of the corner and then washing out towards the top going to the straightaway. But Lockie Phillips able to pull a 4/10 gap on Kyle Dersham on this one. 4 laps to go for Matt Grimm in this heat race, and Fenson and Grimm both look really strong tonight. I think it's just going to come down to being able to get the moves done and making them stick without losing too much momentum, because I think they both have a lot of pace under them tonight here at Volusia. It's 3 laps to go. Matt Grimm coming to the penultimate lap. Matt looking really comfortable around that high side, right up against the cushion. It's like very little wheel input for him, as Matt Grimm going to take the white flag in heat number 2. Got about a 9/10 gap over Lockie Phillips, so able to extend that gap. I believe when he jumped out, it was only a couple tenths, and now Matt Grimm going to come around and take the checkered to win heat number 2. So Matt Grimm, Lockie Phillips, Kyle Dersham, your top 3. Mason Heimball in 4th, Trent Curtis 5th, and Aiden Thronberry in 6th. So Heimball able to recover up to 4th. He had started in 2nd, so 2 positions lost for him. As we go to our warm-up here, 3 minutes before the feature race here at Volusia. One last chance for these guys to get out there and get some warm-up laps in, wearing the track a little bit. So we see Henry Fenson, winner of heat number 1, winner a couple weeks ago for Evolution Sim Sports. Finally got his purple car, purple number 10, purple white number 10, ABR setup shop paint loaded. Got Kenan Leuenberger, the 42. See Matt Grimm there in the 91. The Grimm Reaper looking strong tonight. So we see Mason Heimball in the track, and they're all behind Vince Gieri in the 38 machine. So we got a car flipping. It looks like Fenson must got the outside wall heading into turn 3. So you see a lot of people working some different lines. You see, unfortunately, Leuenberger getting into the wall there out of 2, but a lot of people working different lines here Matt Grimm ripping the bottom, that's something you don't see too often, but I think he's just trying to figure out, if he does find himself in a little bit of traffic, because of a wreck he's involved in or something like that, if he finds himself further back in the field, can he make these moves? Can he make these passes and continue to chase down the leader? Says another car flipping out of 2. You see here the 81 of Matt Wiedheifer. Tough luck in his heat race, but looking pretty strong lap time wise, as is everybody. I mean, even in qualifying, the field not separated by much. Only around 13 seconds a lap. So, as we see Wiedheifer take a trip to the turn 4 exit area. But very, very tough to gain ground when the lap times are so short anyways. Only 13 seconds, 13, 14 seconds a lap. There's not much room to gain on your opponents. Not like something like a road course or a long oval where, lap times are 30 seconds a minute, a minute and a half. It's harder to gain time when the lap times are only 13, 14 seconds. So I think 13, let's see, looking now, 13.8 is about the fastest I've seen. And the slowest is around a 14.1. So, I mean, that's a 3/10 difference from top to bottom for this field here in the TCR Sprint Car Series. Looks like 1 more minute here of some warm-ups. Got some guys doing some more acrobatics in the corners as really trying to push the edge. Lockie Phillips loses wing temporarily. It's back. Must have some magic in that ABR setup shot. Evolution Sim Sports 17 saw a disappearing act there and then a reappearing act. It looks like the checkered flag is out. You're going to see these guys start to pull off. The Barney the flag man's going to let him know session's over as we head into our feature race here at Volusia. So see if we can take a look at the grid here. Maybe so. Sure, but it looks like our starting lineup here is going to be Henry Finson on pole, Matt Grimm alongside him. Row 2 is going to be Sean Stevens, who is not quite loaded in yet. Beside him is going to be Lockie Phillips. Row 3, Vince Gieri. Alongside him, Kyle Dersham. Row 4, Kyle Smith. Alongside him is Mason Heimbaugh. Row 5, Matt Wiedheifer. Alongside him is league owner Trent Curtis. And in row 6 is going to be Cam Leuenberger, and alongside him is Aiden Thronberry. As they are gridded up, ready to go in this feature race. Try to get the live timing to be correct here, but still pacing for now. Waiting for those lights to go off. I think we're going to see a huge battle at the front here between the two Evolution Sim Sport drivers of Henry Finson and Lockie Phillips. I think they're going to have their hands full tonight. Matt Grimm's looking pretty good tonight as we see the ticker finally come up. 35 lap feature here at Volusia. So, I mean, you blink and you will miss it, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to blink because there's going to be plenty of on-track action, I can guarantee you. Like I said, here at the front, I think we're going to see some good battling between the Grim Reaper and the two Evolution Sim Sport drivers. So the field begins to tighten up. Not sure if the pace car is pulled off yet or not. Looks like they are. Henry Finson away. Great jump out of Lockie Phillips right behind Matt Grimm, too, who immediately dived to look at second.
Yellow flag is out.
Yellow is out immediately. It looks like, unfortunately, Lockie Phillips involved. Let's take a look at what happened with Lockie Phillips. I was just saying, he got a great jump there on the outside. Let's go right on the far chase cam with him. Let's see, there's the start. Rocky Phillips on the outside. Oh, just gets a little contact there from Sean Stevens and sends him to the back of the field. He's going to have to find his way back to pit lane. Get that fast repair. Again, no laps completed as of yet, so that lap counter will change back to 0. And they'll go to 1 as soon as they cross the line to begin this race yet again. So unfortunate there for Lockie Phillips. I thought he had a great launch there. Was going to look to make a move on the outside of Matt Grimm possibly, but fortunately Sean Stevens and him fighting for the same room there on the restart or on the start of the race get together. Don't think there's any real damage to Sean Stevens' car. We'll have to see how his lap times are. Usually that's a good indicator if there's no visual damage. Have to see how he performs. Be starting in 3rd as they're going to be single file on this restart. You can see how antsy Matt Grimm is. He's just waiting impatiently on the rear bumper of Henry Finson. He's got to think that maybe, I mean, sure, Sean Stevens, Vince Gieri, these guys are fast, but if he feels like he's quicker than them, but maybe not. Maybe he wasn't quicker than Lockie Phillips tonight, in the dirty air and in the traffic. That's one less guy he's got to worry about for now, but I expect to see Lockie Phillips back towards the front by the end of this thing. As we're green yet again, Henry Finson going to launch off turn 4, another great jump. Don't think anybody's going to be under immediate threat. Matt Grimm going to look the inside of Henry Finson. Man, he's all over him out of turn 2. Going to opt for the high side here. Going to try to carry as much momentum as possible. He's got a big run on Finson. He's going to look to the low side. Matt Grimm shooting for the lead. Slide job, not quite going to stick for now. Tucks right back in behind him. Going to upset Finson's rear end. See if that's enough for the Grim Reaper to take the lead. Not quite yet. Finson able to hold him off for now. Doing a great job on the high side. It's now 3rd and 4th. Start to close in on these top 2. Vince Gieri looking underneath Sean Stevens. Looks like he's going to be able to make that move. Not quite. Not quite clear into turn 1, but he's down on the bottom again. Very sideways there. Going to lose a lot of pace. As Sean Stevens able to clear him for 3rd yet again. As we see Matt Grimm in the lead. Hate that I missed that there as I was looking at the battle for 3rd, but Matt Grimm looked like, I think he was able to pull a slide job and gets a timely caution, I believe. Not sure if he made it back to the line or if he's going to have to let Finson back by. If so, tough break for the Grim Reaper yet again this season. But let's see while we're under caution. It's not a it's an instant replay. It's not a rec replay. Let's take a look here and see if we can watch the move for the lead of the race. I did see Finson coming back by Grimm, so possibly not the lead just yet. But take a look here as they come through 1 and 2. Matt Grimm looking to the inside here and just able to get that drive off the corner, even on the inside, and that was really the difference as he dives to the bottom again and gets a huge gap. But you see that car that was stopped there, the 55 of Kyle Smith. That's what brought the yellow out. Unfortunate for Matt Grimm, as I believe now he's going to have to be back behind Henry Finson. It's a tough break, but so far a really good race, and we'll stay at the front on the restart because I think tonight Matt Grimm's got something for Finson. Finson and Lockie Phillips so far have looked pretty much untouchable. Speaking of Lockie Phillips, started that last restart in 12th. He's now up to 7th. So Lockie Phillips able to make up a lot of ground there and really not a lot of time. I believe only 4 laps or so gone by in this race. See what kind of jump the field can get behind Finson. When he's been out front this season, he's been really hard to get a good read on when he's going to start this on his restarts at least. So we'll see how he does this go around and see how the rest of the field does this go around. I expect the same for Finson as he launches again. Oh, very out of shape there for Finson. Maybe a little bit of broadcaster's curse, but able to keep the lead. Matt Grimm and Vince Gieri fighting there for second. Looks like Grimm's going to keep second for now and start to try to hunt down Finson yet again. Again, we see Grimm and Gieri on the high side. Finson really liking that bottom groove, as we've talked about many a times in the past couple weeks. But Grimm,
The yellow flag is out.
yellow flag is out. Looks like Kyle Dersham going to be the one involved in this one. Only a couple laps gone by, but take a look here at the wreck. If you're somebody like Henry Finson, though, that's kind of what you want. If you don't quite feel like you've got the long run speed, let's take a look here at Kyle Dersham. Looks like we got another wall rider here. As we go, look at him. He's going to be coming up, and just doesn't make the corner, hops the curb, goes into the campsite, grabs a beer, back on the track, gets hit again, and I think eventually knocked out of bounds. So back to the pits for him. Instant tow for Kyle Dersham started this race up in 6th, now back to 12th. Gotta wonder if they're going to extend the caution here to let Kyle Dersham get his tow and fast repair and get back on track without losing a lap or more. Really thought that we'd see a quick change for the lead on that last restart. Henry Finson didn't really look like he got gripped up out of turn 4 when he decided it was go time. And I really thought that was going to cost him more time than it did. But Henry Finson able to hold on for now. Unfortunately, a couple guys have gotten too familiar with the campsites outside of the backstretch and the catch fence outside of the turn 1 and 2. As it looks like we will get a delayed caution, hopefully allow Kyle Dersham to get his towing and fast repair done, get him back on the track in 12th, hopefully shortly. But yeah, so far, seen some really good driving at the front, really good racecraft between these leaders. I think the guys in the back that, are ending up in the fence, off the track, what have you, I think they're just pushing a little too hard. I understand, I think there's still about 30 laps to go, but I understand it's a short race and you got to make up a spot when you can, but even though it feels like a short race, it is, in a way, there is time. It's a longer race than you think. You can't win it. You can't go from last to first on, one lap here. So maybe some of the guys in the back will start to settle down just a little bit as we see Kyle Dersham rejoin the field here, back in 12th. So a couple of rough incidents so far for the Kyles, Kyle Dersham and Kyle Smith, both causes of yellows here. As it looks like the field is going to get stacked up, looking to go back green here, as we see Henry Finson going to lead him yet again to green. Matt Grimm going to try to disrupt this flow as Finson takes off. Another kind of shaky start there, but able to keep enough traction to pull about a 4/10 gap on Matt Grimm. Matt Grimm going to really throw it into turn 1 and 2 hard, but we've seen him be really strong on that high side. He's going to look to build up a ton of momentum up there. So we'll go on with him. Yellow back out. It looks like this time it's going to be Mason Heimbaugh, as we saw him get involved with Lockie Phillips on the original start of the race. We'll go on board with him. It looks like Mason Heimbaugh, possibly Trent Curtis as well, involved in that one. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like the two of them. Actually, Lockie Phillips as well. You got to kind of wonder maybe that there's some payback here. As we take a look, going into turn 3, let's take a look at Heimbaugh. Heimbaugh going to dive straight. Oh, Lockie Phillips ended up into the inside wall with a tap. And then, unfortunate for a couple of guys here. Trent Curtis, Kyle Smith, of course, Mason Heimbaugh. I was wondering if there was possibly some retaliation, but I think that was all fair game. Just unfortunate that Lockie Phillips ended up in the inside wall and kind of came to a stop, and that created the whole wreck behind him. So really hard fighting in the mid pack. Lockie Phillips back up to 5th. Sean Stevens right in front of him. There was the incident there on lap number 1 between the two of them. The incident I was referring to with Heimbaugh and Lockie Phillips was in the heat races. There was that wreck between the two of them. So gotta wonder what Lockie's thinking about behind the guy that they got into each other on lap number 1 and sent him to the back of the field. Now Phillips looking to make his way back through the field up into the podium at least, where he started this race. Gotta wonder what's going through his head. It's not able to complete. I believe maybe the leaders might have got back to the line that time before the caution came out. So maybe only one lap there. It's Henry Fenson looking for another good launch. They look shaky to me. This one looking a little bit better. Looks like he had his wheels under him a little bit more. See a lot of guys cutting down to the bottom there. So we'll take a look at Matt Grimm. Again, a lot of these guys, second, third, and fourth, looking to build that momentum up around the high side as hopefully we can stay green a little longer this time. Matt Grimm is flying right now, about 0.6 of a second back to Henry Fenson as of yet, but he's able to carry so much speed on that higher side than Fenson is. You see Fenson there at the bottom of the screen getting a little bit out of shape in 3 and 4. It cost him about a tenth. Now we see Grimm to the bottom, so maybe he's thinking Fenson's figured something out that he'd like to take advantage of. So take a look here. He's able to close the gap to about 0.55. It's now extending a little bit here to 0.6, 0.7. I think Fenson's really starting to figure out. I mean, I think that bottom's really coming in for Henry, which is music to his ears because that's where he likes to be. He's able to pull just a big gap. Right now it's 0.8. Tries to continue to build on it. You got to wonder if you're Matt Grimm, do you commit and stick to this high side? If it can stay green, do you feel like you really got a shot? Take a look in third. Sean Stevens able to make up a spot on Vince Gieri into third. Vince not too far behind him. And then fifth, Lockie Phillips kind of on his own right now. A second gap in front of him, about 3/4 of a second behind him. It looks like Vince Gieri going to lose a little bit of time there to Lockie Phillips out of that last corner. Take a look at Matt Grimm though. I figured he'd kind of be gaining, reeling Fenson back in, but gap about 1.5 seconds now. Fenson is staying committed to this bottom line. Just you see him just beautifully wrapping the inside wall there through 1 and 2. Looks to do the exact same thing. Wonder how cautious he's got to be after hearing his teammate get involved with the inside wall there a couple laps ago for that caution. I mean, both walls are very detrimental to these cars. These cars don't take a lot of damage well. But so far, Fenson out in front by a second and a half, trying to continue to build it out. 1.6 for now, as we have 17 laps to go, coming to 16 to go at the line. Matt Grimm starting to try to find that middle groove out. Not quite as close to the wall as we see Fenson. Able to make up a little bit of time, but he's going to need a little bit more than that if he wants to really start reeling in Henry Fenson for this win. But so far able to keep Sean Stevens at bay. Sean Stevens, haven't seen him the past couple weeks, but so far having a good run in third. Right now about 0.9 of a second back from Matt Grimm. Vince Gieri, a winner a couple weeks ago after a last lap wreck, able to hold third for now, really strong over Lockie Phillips. Lockie Phillips, I think he may have been in a little bit of trouble there a couple laps ago, under fire from Kanan Lewinberger and Mason Heimball right behind him. So we see Kanan really diving in there, able to hold that line really well around the cushion. I think he had to back out a little bit there. Got a little close to Lockie Phillips, didn't want to cause another incident. But 12 laps to go here. Yeah, Cannon's all over Lockie Phillips. Going to look for the slide job here. Lockie Phillips going to stay up top. Kanan Lewinberger completes it, but Lockie Phillips with a great switchback. And we've got a yellow. Not sure who it was. I believe it's going to be Kyle Smith as he is slow on the track. Let's take a look at what happened with Kyle Smith. Unfortunately, his second wreck of the night. That's exactly the caution that Matt Grimm wanted. I think that gap was starting to get a little too large for his liking. So take a look here at Kyle Smith in the 55 Red Bull machine. He's going to go into turn 1, and it looks like, the 93 there of Kyle Dersham just kind of going to send it on him, and slide job did not stick at all. So both of them probably with heavy damage going to have to use that fast repair. So we're under caution yet again. With, I believe there was 11 to go at the time of the caution, so they'll be coming to 11 to go once this race restarts. But I think if Matt Grimm really wants to win this thing, it's going to be about getting as good of a jump and predicting it as much as possible on Finson. That bottom line really rolling in well for Finson. He was able to pull around a 1.5, 1.6 second gap before that caution came out, and really had no plans of looking back, because about every time I looked at it, it just kind of continued to build a little bit. Maybe he'd lose a tenth or two in one lap, but then he'd gain, 2 or 3 in the next. So looking really strong again tonight is Finson.
We're not going green.
Matt Grimm
going green.
looking for a win yet again. He's been unable to get to the top step of that podium for the last couple weeks now. Definitely wants to look to return to his winning ways. And Sean Stevens, a guy I haven't seen much of, unfortunately, up into third. So I don't know if Sean has really had the pace to keep up with these two tonight. We'll have to ask him if he ends up finishing third. We'll have to ask him in the post-race interview how he feels about his pace. But from what I've seen, just these two look like they're kind of just a little bit out of reach for Sean Smith. But we've seen a lot of wrecks so far tonight. You never know as these laps wind down if these two are close, if something happens and Sean Stevens or even Vince Gieri, a guy who won because of exactly what I just explained a couple weeks ago, where the top three wadded it up into turn 3 on the last lap. He came away with a win, so you got to wonder if he's kind of in the same boat. Lockie Phillips there in 5th, kind of struggling tonight, it seems. Started in 3rd, immediately got booted back to the back after the incident on lap, coming to the green, really. They really didn't even get to start lap 1, but it looks like we're going to go green here. Henry Finson with a great jump, going to dive down the bottom. So you had a ton of traction there.
The yellow flag is out.
Yellow is back out, unfortunately. Looks like it's going to be Vince Gieri. I was just talking about him, too. Yeah, he's spinning around. Let's have a look here. See what happened with him. Wonder if he just didn't get the same kind of start that Lockie Phillips was liking. That's kind of exactly what it looks like it happens, but we'll show you here as they're coming to start this. Looks like just not going to get the best jump. Loses a, he clipped the inside wall. Well, you're talking about how dangerous that inside wall is. Trent Curtis going to get involved. Kyle Smith going to do a nice job to lock it up, spin the car around, and avoid some damage, but tough break there for Vince Gieri, as he's running well in 4th. And you gotta wonder if for him, does he feel like he's got enough time to make it back through this field for a solid result? I think it's going to be really tough for him to do with so few laps left. I believe still around 11 laps left to go in this one, despite what the ticker says. But Finson got a pretty good jump on the field this last time. I think Grimm's really kind of starting to time it out. I believe the first one I was watching, it was about a half second. Now, and then the one before last was about 0.4. This one was only about 0.3 heading into turn 1 before the caution came out. So Matt Grimm's starting to kind of time this out, so it seems. We'll see if Finson can kind of switch it up on him. Finson now with his teammate Lockie Phillips into 4th behind Sean Stevens. Sean again looking for a good run here tonight. Kanan Leuenberger, I feel like, has a lot of speed, was looking to he made a couple moves there on Lockie Phillips. He's in 5th now with that wreck from Vince Gieri. Trent Curtis and Kyle Smith are going to be at the back after that wreck. Vince Gieri is going to be restarting in 10th, so that's 2 less spots that he has to make up, as looks like Finson's going to lead us back to green again. Another good launch for him, but I think Matt Grimm getting better and better at timing these restarts, as he's going to dive to the bottom, put Finson immediately under some pressure. Only about 2 tenths now. 10 laps to go. Yeah, Finson out of shape. A line that, maybe not. Looks like just kind of an awkward line from him, but it's going to work out. But caution back out, unfortunately. This has got to be so tough for Matt Grimm to see. Really only had that first lap to make a pass, as unfortunately Kanan Leuenberger going to be going through the infield. let's take a look at what happened with Cannon. Rewind here. The instant replay. Looks like he was in the outside wall as coming through 3 and 4. Well, I think I even a little bit started before then. Oh yeah, there's a lot more to this. So let's back it all the way up to 1 and 2 here as we'll transition over. So 1 and 2, it's a little out of shape, pushing really hard on the outside, gonna barely clip the wall. That's gonna send him into Heimball. Heimball doesn't get out of shape, but trying to kind of recollect himself, and unfortunately puts himself right in the way. Another car there it looks like Aiden Thronberry was the one collected. A little bit of damage, so tough break there for Leuenberger. I think if he stays out of that turn 2 wall, he'd be able to, keep that speed down the backstretch. Maybe he loses a couple spots, just having to lift, but now he's going to be starting at the rear of this field with only about, I believe, 9 laps to go is the true counter. Fenson if I'm him, I'm kind of trying to switch something up here on the restart. Matt Grimm's been timing it really well. Looks like they gonna go around one more time. So everybody is on track as of now, but go around one more time here before they restart yet again. Yeah, I think if I'm Fenson, I try to switch something up because Matt Grimm was about only a tenth away there heading into turn 1. And I think Vincent did a good job of covering off the bottom, not letting Matt Grimm to his inside, but you got to wonder with how bad Netco has been tonight, I don't even know if I want him that close to where, if he barely taps me around, that could mean race over. For me, is bumping a bumper there. Fencing going to get a good launch. Matt Grimm able to time it just as well as he did last time. Let's see if he dives to the bottom again and is able to get a good run. Not quite as good as last time. As Grimm going to be under fire possibly from Sean Stevens. I think Fenson started to figure out he's up in the cushion there. Might lose him a little bit, but I think Fenson started to figure out that high side 3 and 4 on the first lap is so crucial. As we see, that's what he sees everybody else doing on the restarts. As we see him up there again in 3 and 4, so maybe starting to really feel better about the high side in turn 3 and 4. But still, you see him on the bottom. The gap about 0.8 of a second. I mean, Fenson just looks like he's shot out of a cannon so far tonight. Only 5 laps to go for Fenson. Gets a little wall contact there. I don't think that's going to hurt him too much. Matt Grimm going to try out the inside. We'll go on with Matt Grimm. Matt Grimm looking at about a 6.5 second gap, down to 6 flat now. He's got 4 laps to get this thing done. Dives to the inside. It's going to be hard to be better than Fenson down there, as that is his sweet spot, and loses 2/10 down there trying to do that. Gap now up to about 0.8. Drops down to 7. I think Matt Grimm is just a little bit better than Fenson is on that middle and high side, but man, Fenson through 1 and 2 just able to wrap that bottom so well, keeps so much speed. And extended about 4/10 right there in that one corner is very impressive. 2 laps to go for Henry Fenson. Again, wrapping the bottom. Looked a little nervous there. A little overcorrection I saw there in 1 and 2, but I don't know. Every time I've talked to him, he sounded cool as a cucumber. So, final lap. White flag is out for Henry Fenson. Last chance for Matt Grimm. See if he's got anything for him. I think the gap's just too large right now. Matt pushing with everything he's got. Still not able to make up any time. Fenson ripping around the high side one last time. And Henry Fenson going to be your feature winner here at Volusia. Matt Grimm going to finish in second. A great run for him. Really felt like he had a lot of speed. Just think unfortunate timing of the cautions. Again, just another one-off mishap for Grimm, unfortunately. Sean Stevens going to finish in the final podium spot, with the rest of the order being Mason Heimball in 4th, Vince Gieri in 5th, Matt Wiedeifer in 6th, Cannon Leuenberger up to 7th, Kyle Dersham in 8th, Trent Curtis in 9th, Kyle Smith in 10th, Lockie Phillips down in 11th, and Aiden Thronberry in 12th tonight. So let these guys do some burnouts. It looks like Fenson sliding in style there as we will look to pull up these guys once they get all lined up and into the media center. Have a chance to chat with our winner hopefully first. Last week we didn't get a chance to chat with Vincent. He had to run unfortunately after his second place performance. So hopefully we get a chance to speak with him tonight as he's trying to get his car lined up for the broadcast. We'll take a look at Matt Grimm's perspective here. That way we can see all three of them in the shot. We'll key in on each one of them as we speak with them. Just waiting for these drivers to get out of their cars. But a great race overall here at Volusia. I know there was a little bit more cautions than normal, but I think it's just one of those tracks like we've seen. It's really hard to pass. It's really hard to make up ground. But a really strong running for these top three. I mean, I think these were honestly the three fastest cars from what I can see tonight. I think Lockie Phillips was quick too, being up in qualifying in the top three and finishing well in the heats and everything. But John Stevens and Matt Grimm, as well as of course the winner Finson, really good runs. But let's go ahead and pull Henry on up. Henry, this is Nathan and Booth. You get a copy.
Yeah, I gotcha. How you going?
Doing good, man. I mean, another just really dominant, just a quiet win, really, right? I mean, I think early in the race you were under some fire there from Matt Grimm, but after that caution came out, which really came out at a good time for you, he had just got the move done on you, and then the caution came out before you guys could make it back to the line. But from then on, you looked untouchable tonight. So I mean, talk me through what kind of lines you were thinking of. I know we've talked about in the last weeks that you loved the bottom. It was evident to me in 1 and 2 you loved the bottom, but I saw late in the race there you were looking towards the top side in 3 and 4. So talk to me about your run tonight.
Yeah, I was lucky enough, I run side by side in the warm up. I was just trying to bottom out, and they seemed pretty even. So I thought it's there if I need it. But I think the momentum around here normally is pretty good. So I'd run the top, and I could just hear Matt everywhere. I didn't want to go to the bottom and miss it, lose my momentum. And then he got up the inside of me, and that caution came out, and I went, I might just go to the bottom where I'm going to be safer. So straight back down there, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was able to get a bit of a gap and just run the bottom, but it started slicking off in 3 and 4, and I just started missing it too much. So I saw a lot of grip in the top of 4, so use the grip on the inside down the back straight, launch it off into 4, grab the cushion there, and send it back down to turn 1. And it kind of worked because it gave me enough momentum to really get some air on the wing, and I could enter on the slick pretty quickly and still pull it up and get it rotated on the bottom. And that line worked for me pretty well. Yeah, a couple of cautions were making me nervous, but I was able to just step away each time and keep Matt at bay. So yeah, it's a good result.
Absolutely. I think that the other question I had was around, like you just said, with so many restarts and so many cautions, I think once you kind of got out in front there and things started to settle in, you had it looked like you had the advantage, but with so many cautions, you got to wonder if the guys behind you are starting to pick up on what you're doing, right? Pick up on your timings, picking up on, spots of the track you've been going. Is there anything that you did to kind of switch it up with your timings or anything like that to kind of keep everyone guessing behind you?
Yeah, it was tricky because you try and launch off a turn 4 in the grip, and you get a good launch, and then it would pick up and hook up to the right. You're then trying to turn it back down through the slick, and the car's all over the place. So yeah, I was trying to change it up and find where it was working, but it wasn't until a bit later once the slick got a bit higher and I can sort of get it down to the slick and use that to sort of get the car a bit sideways and aim it for the bottom. But yeah, I think it was one of the restarts where I went to the bottom and missed it, and I could just hear Matt right up my tail, and I'm like, oh no, I was freaking out. I did my normal line. That caution came out, and I was like, oh man, I can't miss that bottom again, or he'll be right there. But luckily, I nailed it, and yeah, got it home in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the past 3 races for you, 2 wins and a second. So I mean, and second behind your teammate last week, right? So I mean, in terms of Evolution Sim Sports, you've done a great job. Lockie Phillips has done a great job as well. But I mean, 3 great results for you for tonight's win. Anybody you want to thank for your performance?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the boys at Evolution Sim Sports. Yeah, thanks to Lockie for getting me in here. It's been a pretty good season so far. 3/3, first, second, first. So I haven't been off the podium yet. Having a lot of fun. Had a bit more fun than Lockie tonight, so he'll be looking to bounce back. This isn't really his track, so he was sort of just hoping to get a good result. He's got a good lead over Matt, so I think he'll be happy at least to get that. And then yeah, just all the guys at Evolution Sim Sports that support us. Yeah, they all make the difference for us every week.
Well, that is your winner, Henry Fenson. Now 2 wins in 3 weeks, like you said, has been off the podium. So we'll hope to keep talking to you in the coming weeks and enjoy your win tonight and celebrate.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep. That's your winner, Henry Fenson. Now we will pull up second place, Matt Grimm, the Grim Reaper. Matt, you got a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Matt, it looked like you had a lot of speed tonight. I mean, as always, really. I think I say that to you every time because I truly feel you do. You know, I think you got kind of a bad break with the caution coming out when you made the move on Fenson for the lead, and from there I saw you kind of trying out some different lines and stuff. And I mean, I don't blame you, right? You got to try out something if you don't feel like it's working, but talk to me about, what kind of you felt changed as the race went on. Obviously the track changes, but talk to me about how that changed your mindset, how that changed what you were thinking with different lines and stuff, to try to get back to Fenson for the win.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wasn't the happiest when that caution came out, but I mean, I don't know. I kept trying stuff, and I'd find something, and then magically, he would change lines. I don't know. That's shocking how that works, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it would have been nice to capitalize on one of those 300 restarts because, those ones at the end there, I got it all figured out, and I would get my big runs, and he wouldn't get away from me, and then there was like instant cautions. The ones before that, it was like I'd get into the gas, and the car just shot to the right, and I mean, he would just pull away so far that I don't. There's no way I'm running him down. I really didn't expect the track to slick off as much as it did, and even with that, I put a lot of restrictor in it, so that probably hurt me at the beginning of the race and helped there at the end. I don't know. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, I like the idea though of trying different things, right? Because I mean, I think that the two of you, I mean, you guys were battling for the lead early on, and even afterwards, right? Like other than the restarts, like you said, I mean, you guys were pretty much keeping a pretty solid gap to each other, and even behind you guys, it was widening out, right? So I mean, I think you guys were pretty, definitely the quickest in the field tonight. The other question I had was, on the because I was just talking with Henry about this. You brought it up too. It looked like you had just timed out. You started to time out his restarts better and better every time. I mean, I know, like you said, we had a ton of cautions, which didn't help your chances of being able to actually make that move. But to make the most of it for yourself, what did you kind of start to figure out there with Fenson's cadence when it came to restarts?
I mean, he was actually good at like changing up where he was restarting and doing different things. He messed up a couple of times, which is what some of the big restarts were. But the biggest thing was that the track slicked off enough to where when I got into the gas, it didn't want to shoot to the right because I could give it enough throttle to where it would kind of like spin the car sideways and then I could go. But before that, like as soon as I touched the throttle, it just wanted to hop in the air, and reacting to him, it just put me so far behind. It just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sometimes these sets just do that. And there's not much you can do to change it. I tried even moving the wing back, making it tighter, just thinking like I could get some more grip in the rear tires, and it just made it worse. So I gave up on that quickly.
Yeah, well, I know you wanted the win tonight. We're always big on you here in the booth. We've seen your success in the past. I mean, I would still even call finishing in the podium in a field with some fast guys and a good success. But a second for you tonight. Anyone you want to thank for your performance?
Well, I'll just thank everyone at RMDB over at the team, all they do to help and hopefully get to run with them some more. I haven't really been running much, been running just this once a week, but Yeah, thanks to them, RTB Aiden over there, and he does a lot of work to get everyone fast. And yeah, it'll be nice to find an open setup league again because I miss those.
I hear you. Well, that is Matt Grimm, everyone. Second place tonight here at Volusia. Matt, have a good night.
Thanks, man.
And that is Matt Grimm. We will bring up Sean Stevens, our third place finisher. Sean, you got a copy. Sean, do you have a copy?
Certainly do, mate. How are we?
Hello, we're doing good. How about you, man? We are. This is the first time that I think I've seen you this season. I don't know how many races you've done here. I'm stepping in for Davis past couple weeks, but um, you looked really quick out there. I mean, I think that you shocked me in qualifying. You were provisional pole at once. It was a new name for me. In the heat races, I feel like you did pretty well. Little contact there at the beginning of the race, I think, with Lockie Phillips, which I'm sure really neither one of you were looking to happen, but hopefully, for you, you didn't get any damage, right? It's kind of what you care about first. But talk me through. I mean, you're sitting in like third or fourth for a lot of this race. Do you think if maybe Fenson and Matt Grimm would have started fighting a little bit more in the middle half to late in the race, do you think you had anything for them had they gotten side by side?
Yeah, no, I did get in the Lockie off the start. I just put my foot flat a bit too quick, I think, and it lifted the front wheels up off the ground and pretty much just went straight ahead and pushed up high. So yeah, I do apologise for that one. Yeah, it is my first race for the season. I haven't been in due to working flat out and personal reasons. So I saw it up and had some time to jump on, so I thought, no, I'll jump in and do a quick league race, and didn't get much practice in, so I was surprised when I qualified up there and was up there on top of the board for a minute or two. But Matt's always been fast. I've known Matt a long time. Lockie's always been fast. Henry's always fast. I race against them guys a lot during the week, even of a night time. So yeah, I know a few of the boys. They're always quick. Yeah, it surprised me really. Didn't have much time to go over the setup really. So I just winged it and just was hitting the middle, trying to push up high. I was hoping that top line had come in a bit more. It didn't, so it was more slider line for me, suited me. Where them boys were hitting the bottom pretty good. I find it a little bit tricky to hit the bottom nice in a 410. Them boys have got it down pat. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, like you said too, first race of the season, you finished third. Not not a bad first outing. Pending that you can continue to join us here in the Sprint Car Series. What do you kind of look to build off of? Like you said, you're familiar with some of these top guys in here. How do you look to kind of be like that half step up on them at the next track that you're able to join us?
Just give it a red hot dip as I always do, I suppose. Yeah, as I said to me, Matt and Lockie, we used to be on a team together, so I know how them guys race a lot. They're fast. They've always been fast. It can be anyone's race really on a good day. Yeah, we'll just see how we go. I like the big open tracks where I can rip the wall down. I know Lockie's kind of the same. He loves that. Matt, he's the same. He loves pushing up high on the higher line. I was a little bit surprised seeing him down on the bottom actually. But yeah, we'll just move on and hopefully I can be here next week and have a crack next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to talk with you again up here in the booth. But third place for you tonight, your first outing, really good performance. Anyone you want to thank for your performance?
Just you guys for putting on the show, I suppose. Just all my sponsors on the car and yeah, people watching. Jump on board. It's a good racing league and get involved. It's fun.
You heard it here from an on-track racer. Definitely feel free to get involved. We'll put some links in chat. Maybe next week or something. Get all the information out. I'll chat with Davis. But yeah, third place finisher Sean Stevens tonight. Sean, great finish as I've said plenty of times to you, but really excellent run for you tonight, man. We have to see you next week and hope you have a good night.
Cheers, mate.
And that is Sean Stevens. So that is going to do it here at Volusia down in Florida. Henry Fenson getting his second win in 3 weeks here in the TCR Sprint Car Series. Matt Grimm coming up in second behind him. Sean Stevens, who you just heard from, in third. And we'll go ahead and run through the rest of the lineup here just one more time. So after Sean Stevens in third, you had Mason Heimbaugh, who was able to make up 4 spots in the feature race to fourth. Vince Gieri rebounded back to fifth, which is where he started. Matt Wiedeifer able to gain 3 spots up into sixth. Kanan Leuenberger able to gain 4 spots into seventh. Kyle Dersham unfortunately lost 2 spots, finished in 8th. Trent Curtis able to make up a spot and finish in 9th. Kyle Smith unfortunately lost 3 and finished in 10th. Lockie Phillips, who looked really strong in this race, unfortunately not able to rebound too much, finishing in 11th. And then Aiden Thronberry finishing in 12th. A pretty good race here. I expected to see a little bit more there at the front. It looks like there was very equal in pace, but I think like you heard from the guys, when we brought him up in the post-race interviews, it really came down to that restart jump. It really came down to being able to build that gap and just getting in a rhythm, as we see a lot with these cars. It's just getting in a rhythm, but getting that initial 4, 5, 6 tenths on a restart is absolutely massive in keeping that gap. So congrats to Henry Finson again. Evolution Sim Sports, 3 wins in a row now, with Finson having 2 of them and Lockie Phillips last week getting the win for Evolution Sim Sports. So a great run for him, a great run for the Grim Reaper as well. I think he tried everything, as you heard. He tried to use everything he could, and then on debut, finishing on the podium, Sean Stevens. So great run for our top 3. Really great run overall. Even though there was a couple of cautions, but with that, I think that is going to do it for coverage tonight and talking about the TCR Sprint Car Series. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Grease Vision here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure to like the stream. It definitely helps us out with outreaching to people that aren't familiar with this. It helps us get on their homepage and gets the viewership up, which is what everyone should want, that's supporting this league. So definitely make sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Definitely let us know anything in chat that you'd like us to bring up, talk about, favorite drivers, who you don't like, whatever. We'll chat about it. We'll bring it up in the stream. But that is going to do it for me tonight. We'll have Davis back next week. Thank you for letting me broadcast this series for the last couple weeks and help you out. But with that, that'll be all. Have